Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to hop right into it. We are going to review two foods. So we got asked to review Rachael Ray Nutrish, the adult chicken and vegetable formula, and then the PetSmart, I guess, version of it, which is Simply Nourish. So we're going to go ahead and get started on that today. Thanks for joining me. I hope you guys have a cup of coffee, and we're going to go ahead and get started. All right, so I have about 50,000 windows open here because I did a little bit of research to make sure all the information was available for us today before we get started, because I didn't want to have to report back to you guys later like I had to do on the IAMS video, which they did brief update, get back to me on the calcium and phosphorus. So that's in the description box in the IAMS review. So if you guys watched that and you were waiting for that information, go ahead and check that out. All right, so Rachael Ray Nutrish. So Rachael Ray is a Food Network star. She is I don't think she's a chef, but she's a cook, and she has a show there and she makes human food. And so for whatever reason, she decided she was going to go into pet food. She has a little dog, a little pit bull. I don't remember what her name is, but that's probably what the impetus was for her starting this food. I am not a big fan of celebrities making pet food in general, because a lot of that tends to be marketing, and on this channel we discuss marketing a lot, and we'll do that with these foods today. But if they do it right and they employ people that understand pet nutrition, then I don't think it's a bad thing. So we're going to go through the label today, and we're going to break down some of the marketing things and see whether the Rachael Ray Nutrish is good and how it stacks up to the pet food version. So the first thing we want to do is go to the website, which is nutrish.com. She has lots of different foods here that you can choose from. She does dog food and she does cat food. You can see all the different varieties that they have. And so that's an example of marketing. They want to diversify their portfolio. They want to appeal to the largest amount of people possible. When you look down here to product benefits, you can definitely see the marketing. So they've got the grain-free version, the high-protein version, the limited ingredient, the super premium, corn-free, wheat-free, soy-free. And so we know from previous videos, and if you've been following this channel, that things like grain-free aren't really in the best interest for pets, because grains are necessary for healthy heart function. There's ongoing research regarding that. You can check out the grain-free video for more detail, but they do need grains in their diet. And so when you have, in my opinion, a company that's using grain-free to suck people in, that's a little bit misleading, and that's marketing. Now, I'm not saying that that's Rachael Ray herself. I doubt Rachael Ray is building this website, and I doubt Rachael Ray is coming up with a lot of these ideas. I'm sure she just said, hey, I love dogs, I love my dog, I'd like to do a pet food, can you help me? And then she's got a whole marketing team doing this for her. But things like putting grain-free, that's a way to suck you in. And so do be careful about companies that do that, because we know that there is ongoing controversy regarding grain-free and the health of pets. And so I don't think it's necessarily a good thing that they're marketing that. So that's the quick version of the little marketing things just on the website. If we go to the actual food and look at the package, you've got a picture of Rachael Ray on the top there with her pup. The real chicken and veggie recipe. Real chicken is the #1 ingredient. And so the first thing I think of there, if we're just trying to break down the marketing on this, is real chicken. So what would be not real chicken? I don't know, maybe, yeah, I don't even know what unreal chicken would be. So real chicken is the #1 ingredient. And we know from discussing on this channel that the ingredient list is another way that these companies like to trick people, because the ingredients are listed based on their actual weight and not necessarily how much is in the food in the way that we think about it. And so I will do, hopefully soon, a video on understanding the ingredient list, not necessarily which ingredients are good or bad, but understanding what that really means so that you guys can evaluate that for yourself. So real chicken is the #1 ingredient. No poultry byproduct meal and no filler ingredients. So again, this goes back to marketing, that term no filler. Fillers by definition are ingredients that provide no nutritional value, and to my knowledge, there aren't really any foods on the market that put fillers in there because it's not cost effective for them. there's no reason to put something in a food that doesn't provide any value, because then they're just wasting money putting things in food. So there aren't really any companies that put fillers by the legal definition in the food. So they can say no filler because legally they are not putting what is defined as a filler in the food, but they could be putting things that we would consider fillers in the food. So be a note of that. Fiber sources including peas and brown rice, they help support healthy digestion. Okay, I don't disagree with that. So that is the picture of the kibble. One thing that we like to do is see if it looks like there are dyes added to it. So if we come over here to the ingredient list, and it does have chicken and chicken meal as the first two ingredients. She promised no poultry byproduct meal. So she's saying no byproduct meal, which is technically true because it's chicken meal and it doesn't say chicken byproduct meal. So again, it's kind of mincing of words here. Let's see for dyes. Annatto extract, and that's for color. So I suppose that can be considered a dye. But really that's it. Okay, no dyes, so that's excellent. I like that. It's got 4.8 out of 5 stars, 99% satisfaction. That's on her website. They list pros and cons, and it says suitable cons could not be generated at this time. So I'm not sure how accurate it is on their website to see, you know, how many stars, but it does seem to be a very favorable food. Guaranteed analysis. Okay, this is what everybody was probably waiting for. Let's see how nutritionally this is going to stack up. So let me go ahead and find my adult on the desktop. All right, so we've got the adult dog guaranteed analysis. These are on an as-fed basis. And they come from the Small Animal Clinical Nutrition textbook, and I've just put them in this little chart so it's easy for us to evaluate. So for the adult dog, we want to say crude protein to be between 15 and 30%, and she's at 25, which is excellent. Let's go to calcium. We want between 0.5 and 1. The calcium is going to be 1.2, so a little bit on the high end. Not horribly high, but it is a little bit on the high end. Phosphorus, we want between 0.4 and 0.8, and again, a little bit on the high end at 1%. We've got sodium, we're not listing. Vitamin E, greater than 400, and we're at 75. So the vitamin E in these, a lot of times they are put in there. I don't know if they're in there because some of the ingredients already carry them, but for whatever reason, vitamin E does tend to fall short on a lot of these diets. So it does fall quite a bit short here at 75 international units per kilogram. We want greater than 400. Let's see, fat between 10 and 20. We're at 14%, which is good. Fiber less than 5%, and we're at 4%. Chloride they don't list. So pretty good there, a little bit out of range on the calcium and phosphorus, but all in all, pretty close to what we want. Let's find the the AFCO statement. So you can buy it on Instacart. That's kind of nice. Tractor Supply, Chewy, Walmart, Target, Kroger, all of these companies sell it. So I'm going to go to Chewy because hopefully we'll be able to see the bag and get the guaranteed analysis. So to circle back to the price, the Nutrish chicken and vegetable recipe is $31.43 for a 28-pound bag. So let's see what that comes out to. 31.43 divided by 28 is going to be $1.12 per pound. And let's zoom into the back of the package if they have it for us to do that. The AFCO statement must be listed, but it does not have to be listed in a very prominent place. So sometimes it can be difficult to find it. Okay. So right underneath the little green banner where it says no poultry byproduct meal fillers added wheat or wheat gluten ingredient, the very little next little blurb there is the adequacy statement. And so it says Rachael Ray Nutrish real chicken and veggie recipe dog food is formulated, so they did not do any feeding trials. They did not feed this to actual dogs before they marketed it. They took a formula and they just met the formula. So it's formulated to meet the nutritional levels established by AFCO dog food nutrient profiles for adult maintenance. So it is adult maintenance, which is just a thumbs up. We like that. Formulated. A lot of companies do it. I like to see companies that really want to invest in nutrition of pets do feeding trials. So they didn't really do that, but they did meet the formula, so that's a good thing. The other thing I wanted to mention about Rachael Ray Nutrish, as I was perusing through the website, which is a really nice thing, is they apparently have a foundation. And so let me find, okay, so if you click on the Why Nutrish, it says it is inspired by Rachael Ray's kitchen. We already talked about who Rachael Ray is if you're not familiar with who she is. She's a Food Network star, I guess you could say. Use real ingredients, and if you scroll down, it says that a portion of the proceeds go to the Rachael Ray Foundation, and it helps animals in need. And so I love that she is donating a portion back to animals, which tells me she really is making this food because she loves animals and not another stream of income for her, which is really nice. Not that there's anything wrong with pet food companies making income. They're there to employ people and give people jobs and make money. So I'm not saying that there's any problem with companies making money for selling pet food. I just think it's nice that she does that. She didn't have to do it. I do want to say, whenever you see a charity, and this is not related to food, but it is related to marketing, when you see a charity, it is really important that you investigate the charity. And so how you can do that is there are a lot of websites out there. You can put the name of the charity in there, and then you can kind of see where the money goes to make sure that the charity isn't just a figurehead for funneling money back to a bigger corporation. And so I hate to always play the devil's advocate, but that's kind of my nature, and that's kind of the basis of this channel. So just to go a little bit deeper into the devil's advocate, you can put in one of these search engines, the Rachael Ray Foundation, and you can find out how much money, this foundation made and how much of the money went to paying the people that run it and how much money is actually given back to the pets. And so you can see through this foundation, they've been able to raise, it looks like, $159 million. And over on this side, you have, who the officers are of it and how much compensation they took. And so Rachael Ray's the president. You can see that she took $0. It looks like she works 5 hours a week on the foundation. John Cusimano, that's her husband. He's the vice president and secretary. He took no compensation. And so basically all these officers took no compensation except for the director of programs, who works 40 hours a week. So that's obviously this Miss Elizabeth Ross' main job. And she took a salary of $133,000. And so the majority of the money from this foundation actually does go back to the pets, which is really nice. So there you have it. That's Rachael Ray Nutrish. I think it sounds like a pretty good food. There is a lot of marketing packed in there, but that is the way you sell pet food. And so it's not a bad product. I think it's a pretty decent product. But how does it stack up to the Simply Nourish adult? And so there's a little bit of a play on words there. So I don't know if the Simply Nourish was named that in order to sound like or compete with Nutrish. It very well could be. There's no way to know, but it is made by PetSmart. And so this is a food exclusively sold and made by PetSmart. And so I pulled it up here on the PetSmart website, and we've got a picture here of the front of the package. And so this is a little bit different because it is an adult chicken and brown rice versus a chicken and vegetable formula. And you can see it's got a very lovely, beautiful piece of chicken sliced up there with your brown rice. Let's see, zooming in here. Real deboned chicken is the number one ingredient. So again, you can see how they're harping on the real deboned chicken. Again, what is not real chicken? It's the number one ingredient. And so they're trying to suck you in there. It is made in the USA, and then right underneath that is something I really like to see, and that is it's free of artificial colors, flavors are preservatives. So there you have it. They are telling us right on the package what we want to hear. That's good marketing. They're not putting any artificial colors in there. So that's very good. Now let's scroll down. How many stars does it get? It's getting 1, 2, 3, 4 stars out of 5. It's going to be $40.99 for a 30-pound bag. So let's see. Rachael Ray was $1.12 per pound. This is a 30-pound bag. $40.99 divided by 30. All right, this one's more expensive. So it's $1.36. If you round up, $1.37 per pound. So this is going to be a more expensive food. So let's see, do we get more for our money? Let's see here. Down to the ingredients. Yes, the deboned chicken, just as promised. Chicken meal, brown rice, oatmeal, barley, chicken fat. And then there should be no dyes on here. And there are no dyes as promised. Let's pop up the guarantee. So if you remember, the Rachael Ray was a little bit off on the calcium phosphorus, so we'll see where we are here. The crude protein is at 25%, and it should be between 15 and 30, so that's good. The fat is at 13%, and we want between 10 and 20, so that's good. Calcium at 1.2, same as Rachael Ray, that's going to be a little bit high. Phosphorus at 0.8, that is actually in the range, so that's better. Down to the vitamin E, 200, so that's quite a bit beefier than the Rachael Ray. It's still not the 400 we want to see, but a lot better. And then, did that hit all of the high notes? Where's the fiber? Fiber at 5.5%. Fiber, it says you want less than 5. I don't have a problem with being a little bit over on fiber because some dogs really do need that. And it is going to help with the formation of stools and easily passing stools, and some animals really need that. So I'm okay with the fiber being a little bit high on that. So this one, very close to the Rachael Ray. It is a little bit better on the vitamin E, and it is a little bit better on the phosphorus. The calcium was still out of range as far as what we would like to see based on the established guidelines. Let's find, if we may find it, the AFCO statement. If we can zoom in, find it. Feeding guidelines, no. Sometimes it'll say something like adequacy statement. They've got the satisfaction guarantee. Okay, nutritional adequacy statement, and it's nearly impossible to read, but I'll go ahead and interpret it for you. It says Simply Nourish chicken and brown rice recipe adult dry dog food is formulated, so same as Rachael Ray is formulated. They met a formulation that was previously established. They did not actually feed this to animals before they marketed it. So it's formulated to meet the nutritional levels established by AFCO, dog food nutrient profiles for maintenance. So again, another adult maintenance, which is good because we want it to be an adult food. We don't want it to be all life stages because we are evaluating this for an adult, not for a puppy lactating, breeding, etc., etc. All right, so PetSmart, I don't know if PetSmart has a foundation or not. Do they have a charity? Because we're doing a head-to-head here, and if Rachael Ray has a charity, I want to know if PetSmart has a charity. They do. They have a charity. Okay. So their charity looks like it's an adoption charity. So PetSmart Charities Adoption. Okay, so I had to go to a different website because I couldn't find it on that one. So I went to Charity Navigator, so that's charitynavigator.org, and I went ahead and found the PetSmart charities. It looks like this may be a little bit better website with more information if you're into investigating that. It does get a 92.92% as far as being a good charity. I will spare you all the details, but if you come down here, you can see that they received $55 million in 2020. And they, let's see, their expenses. They did spend quite a bit on the program administrative fundraising. Okay, so they spent $47 million of that on the program, so it went back to the program. They spent $1.5 million on their administrative, and they spent just under $1 million on fundraising. So most of the money did go to the program. And so you can see that the president did not take any compensation. None of their presidents look like they take any compensation. Yeah, so it looks like that's a pretty decent charity that donates a lot of the money back to the program. So there you have it. So let's do the matchup. Rachael Ray Nutrish versus PetSmart Nourish. Both were chicken diets. They both were pretty close on the guaranteed analysis, although Rachael Ray fell short on the calcium, phosphorus, and vitamin E. PetSmart did fall short still on the vitamin E, but less so, and it fell a little bit short on the calcium. And when I say fell short, I don't mean was less, I mean fell short of meeting the mark, because it was actually in excess. So it met the phosphorus, but not the calcium. Both AFCO statements were formulated. Both AFCO statements were for adult. Both had, for the most part, no dyes added, although Rachael Ray's did have a little bit, one dye listed. Cost-wise, the PetSmart was a little bit more. It was around $1.30. Is that what I said? Yeah, $1.36, $1.37 a pound, where the Rachael Ray was only $1.12 per pound, so the Rachael Ray was a little bit cheaper. Both have foundations that donate back to pets, which both look like they were good charities. And so if I had to pick, and I was going strictly by the numbers, and I'm a kind of a numbers person, I guess I would go with the PetSmart because it does meet all of the marks. Well, it meets all the marks more closely, but it is a little bit more expensive. And so the Rachael Ray did fall slightly short, but it might be more in your budget. I don't think it's a bad food. I think it's a fine food. It's an okay food. It's just not, if we're playing just by the numbers, it does not meet as closely as the Nourish. And so there you have it. From my lips to your ears, you have now seen the Rachael Ray versus Nourish pet food adult dog chicken formula. If you like these videos, I hope you will come back and join us and subscribe, and you can ring the bell and get notified. I try to upload videos every Thursday, and I like to hang out with you guys next time. I will catch you later. Bye.